Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Coastal Tree. Not the greatest title, but it'll do. It's descriptive at least. And I painted this a couple days ago. We are working on some MDF where you see that texture. I've kind of just played around. I coated the MDF with 2 layers of transparent gesso, and then to make the texture a little bit of raw umber acrylic paint mixed with the transparent gesso, and of course the transparent gesso is acrylic as well, just to give me a little something to work on. I did find it a bit challenging, a bit distracting, and possibly the painting came out maybe a little darker than I would have liked because of it, but yeah, whatever. It came out good, and that's one of the reasons I'm sharing it with you today. I had some sales recently of trees and things, and this type of tree is called a Pohutukawa. They're very popular out here. It's called the New Zealand Christmas tree, and around Christmas time, you'll see all the red flowers come out, and they're quite beautiful. It only lasts for about a week or so. Although different trees, of course, will put the flowers up at slightly different times. So, anyway, it's a one of these things where I thought, oh, okay, I could paint that. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do today, or not today, but that day I painted this, and these trees have so many trunks. They require, like, most trees have one trunk with branches coming off, but the Pohutukawas come from a base. They can have up to 8 trunks coming up from that base. So a lot of complexity, a lot of simplifications required. You see the silhouette here. I think it's quite strong. I was pretty excited at this point. And also I would like you to note, well, you'd have to go back, but I had broke out quite a large brush to get that. And it was great because just a stroke here, a stroke there. And I've been playing with that more and more lately. A lot of times I might do something similar with a crumpled paper towel, but lately I've been incorporating, that's about a 1-inch brush, give or take, maybe a little, slightly bit less. But it's pretty effective. You might try that yourself. And you might be a painter, or you might just be somebody who likes to watch paintings happen. I think quite a few people that do come to this channel are painters looking for tips and advice. Yeah, I always got tips. I always got advice. First of all, painting, it's hard. Even if you're a master, I'm not saying I am. But we try, we plug away, and it can be hard. I find that things go in roundabouts. Like I'll just have a super long string of successes. One thing that's happened more with experience is that where I might have a big string of failures. When I'm in one of these sort of failing sort of periods, I'll sporadically have paintings that are failures, and I've been kind of going through that for the last 2 or 3 months. Although I've done some really excellent paintings as well. So, but it's a bitter pill. It's a bitter pill to take, and what can I say? Sometimes a lot of things have to align, especially when you branch out or you do things that aren't that easy or comfortable. Like in the case of this sort of tree thing, it's all that simplification that's got to go down. And after a while, you're so far removed from the reference image that it gets you're just living in the land of imagination, basically. At that juncture, you'll look up at the reference, and the reference is not able to help you that much, and that's okay. I still think that's superior to just say trying to work strictly from the imagination. Now, you can do that too. I think if you're going to do that, you better have quite a lot of paintings under your belt, so that you have sort of this interior vocabulary. I do rely on my imagination extensively in my painting process, but I like to have some sort of little reference image. It's pretty important to me. Anyway, that's not much of a tip. It's the same old tip, paint all the time. But the other thing I might say is you got to take it easy. Don't if just fall in love with the process. Fall in love with doing paintings. If they're good, that feels really good. If they're not so good, maybe you can fix them. I've got one that I wanted would have been here today, but I came in the next day and I saw I did pretty much what was in the reference image. I had like an area that was coming in at a bit of a slant, but looking at it now, I feel like it should be more straight. Of course, I have to wait for that painting to dry. It can be a real mess if you start messing around because it's gone matte, I have to go over it with a bit of oil so that everything is on an even keel, especially for the video. But there you go. The other thing I would say, and it's not terribly encouraging, but painting as a career, it's very tough. I find it very tough, and it's just been getting tougher. It might be a little easier for me if I lived in an area like, well, you always think it will be Eastern Seaboard or someplace like Cornwall or in England, almost anywhere but where I live here in New Zealand. But this is where I ended up, and this is where I have my studio and my life and my wife and my dogs, and I'm just going to paint, and take advantage of the opportunities that do present themselves. But it's been pretty tough economic time out here in New Zealand, and as it is everywhere. I'm not complaining, but it's probably going to get tougher. And I had a student recently who's kind of dropped out of painting for a while, and she's just needs to expend her efforts in ways that are going to bring her in some income. And what I'd said to her is that, and now this thing I'm going to say it works on two different levels. Okay, so it's a subtle idea, so just roll with me for a minute. Basically, the world doesn't really need paintings or painters at this juncture. It doesn't. But I think the universe does. I think the universe needs us to be engaged in creating things. And the fact of the matter is, you can do a heck of a lot as a hobbyist, and that's where most people are going to end up and most people are going to be. But to those of us that are dedicated to our practice full time, we should be able to go farther. We should be able to go quite a lot further because of the time spent. So there you go. But oh, hey, what's this? The book. I did have a couple sales last week on the book, which is always great. The price is $60. It's got, you talk about tips, man. This book is chock-a-block. Everything I could possibly think of over a period of 1.5 to 2 years, I popped in the book. There's been a few wrinkles that come along since, not enough for a second book, but you can't help but after writing a book want to be thinking about another book. So anyway, that $60 price tag does include, that's US by the way, international shipping, which is quite expensive. It's actually a greater cost than my printing costs. So but I'm happy to get it to you, and I think you'll enjoy it. And thanks to those of you that have bought it, and I hope you are enjoying it. I've had a lot of really awesome feedback. Back to the painting. So what was my brief on this painting? I was liking that silhouette. I didn't want to mess with that too much. The reference image, which by the way you could see in the members area, and I had a question recently on the channel, where is the link? There's a link to the members area underneath every video. You just click on that. I will point out, however, that if you are watching this on a phone or tablet, to sign up for the members area seems to go better on a PC, which is pretty weird considering this is operations run by Google. Google and I split the cost of the membership. But you would think, who's more technically savvy than Google? Well, somehow they can't manage to sign up members very easily on a phone. But you can sign up on a phone, on your PC or Apple, and And then watching on your phone or tablet's never an issue. Yeah, but that's 4K, no ads, reference image, color mixing session, pretty much everything you might want. Everything you might be hoping I was talking about right now instead of just burbling on. But you got to forgive me because I have. Oh, I counted how many videos. It's the 1,200 something like that. If I was just every single 15-minute video that I did, outlining the colors used, the brush used, it would be so highly repetitive I wouldn't be able to maintain it. So think of the 15 minutes as, you getting to see a painting go down in very high resolution, 1080 is high. With the added benefit of me burbling along. You go, oh, not much of a benefit, Mike. Yeah, I know. But we deal with what we got. So let's talk about my brief. We're getting kind of close to the end of the video. The other thing is like I was existing in this color space on this painting. It's tonal space. It's a grade sort of zone. So, I wanted to point this out to you. You see that color that you think is blue? That's not blue. That's gray. That's made from ivory black and white. It looks blue because of the colors around it. The darker grays, like in the sky, those are almost up in that furthermost corner. That's raw umber and white. Now these are the kind of things that you pick up in the members area that you don't get here. But so if you want more depth, it's only $6. You tip on in, tip on out. I have people tip on in, tip on out, tip on in again. That's basically the cost of a one of those fancy Starbucks coffees, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, how did we handle the grass? Basically, grass can be so boring, and there's a lot of it out here in New Zealand. I could make it something else. I could have just made it dark. But normally what I try and do is establish some sort of pattern, and that's fairly random. I'll think, I can tell you what I do is, and I mention this in the members area painting sessions all the time. You've got an area full of a bunch of nothing, like this slice of lawn here. I'll try and subdivide it with a diagonal, like a Z or an N or that kind of thing. And then just start kind of working around that. And not that I reinforce that shape, but I basically break it up with a couple slashing diagonals and then use that to create some patterns. And that's the other thing. I've mentioned this in a lot of the 15-minute videos, but I want to reiterate it because it's a theme that I keep running across in my own painting journey. And this is it, okay? And you hear me talk about deviating from the reference, not following the reference too closely, etc. But basically, so one of the reasons I like the underpainting is that it's not involving the color. It allows me to move things around, and it allows me to create patterns, shapes, and compositional motifs that are one interpretation of the scene. From there, basically, that's a pattern that's been created. I am going to reinforce that pattern, work with that pattern. I'm going to pull things from the reference image. I have it up and open. But I've also pointed this out before in 50-minute videos. If you have a problem with the reference images and all your paintings getting too stiff, just leave off about at the halfway point with the reference image. You've already pulled everything you need from it, and just start trying to make the painting look good. That's a great tip. It's easy to just hear these things and let them zip on by you, but definitely try that. I don't necessarily have to do that because I'm aware of the dangers of the reference image from the multitude of really bad paintings I've done. They were all too stiff, and that was why. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I wanted to get one into the middle of the week. I've been a little lax about that. So I'm going to get this up. It'll be up, this is Wednesday here, so it'll be up Thursday for you. Oh no, it'll be your Wednesday, so that'll be groovy. Hey, and I hope you enjoy it. And thanks for your support. Thanks for taking the time to watch. If you have any financial wherewithal, You can donate. There's a thank you button there. You can send me a tip. Or even better, go to my website and send me a donation or buy a little painting or a big painting. You can buy the book. I make not much off of that, but I make something and it's all good. So until I come back with another video, and I will, God willing, do me a favor, do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Do your best to stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family.